Welcome to Mildly Interesting People, behind the scenes production meeting.
Meeting.
We invite you to our production meetings because we're building this content for you. So
Yeah.
obviously you need to be in the production meetings. It's not like we have a live studio audience. We can test this stuff in front of us. Maybe in the future we do a production meeting like YouTube Live or something and let people.
I was just thinking the same thing. That would be so much fun.
It would be fun. Have people hang out and give us show notes and
We'll schedule
critiques, that kind of thing. That we'll schedule it a few weeks out
future.
to a month in the future, so you have time to plan because you're busy. Well, I don't know if you can hear me drumming my fingers, but I'm drumming my fingers till the cat shuts the fuck up.
Any idea when that's going to be, Spike?
Do you and Spike just want to take the episode? I can go find something else to do.
No, I only agreed to do the show because I know that it's 5 questions time, and I love the 5 questions. Nothing happened.
I wanted to do an episode called Mildly Interesting Person, where I just talked to you for a few minutes, but Cami insisted she was up to snuff, and not only that.
Do you think I'm not up to snuff?
She accused me of trying to steal the show.
I did.
I'm just saying.
Really fun.
See?
What? I'm not going to lie. I was like, you're just trying to steal the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't serious, or was I?
With all my personality.
Your personality is huge. You have a larger personality than I do. Your personality is just like a gloom cloud that takes over things.
That's
and then occasionally makes people feel really nice about themselves because you see them.
Your definition and my definition of personality differ greatly. So we're changing the format a little. Not that any of you would know, because who watches this content anyway, but the production schedule meeting usually goes, we jibber jabber about production notes, Cami breaking her foot, those kind of things. And then near the very, very end, we get to these 5 mildly interesting questions where we're testing potential mildly interesting questions that we may eventually ask our guests at some point in the future. What we've decided to do, rather than force you to sit through all the blathers, we'll get to the mildly interesting questions up front and kind of see where it goes from there. For those of you who aren't familiar with the format, mildly interesting questions, Cami and I each come up with 5 questions. We don't share them with one another. They're really designed to be like quick response. Don't think much about it. Provide your feedback as quickly as you can, and hopefully shines a little light or insight into our personalities in new and interesting ways, just to keep you, gentle viewer, entertained with this format. There is the option, and I'm happy to report that Cami has not used it the last set of questions, to say
last two set of questions, I think.
Last 2. So she's doing really well. There is the option to have a cat on your lap during the questions if you would prefer to do that. So that's one. The second option is Family Feud rules. If you would like to pass on a question and come back to it later, that is absolutely fine. Sometimes you get a little deer in the headlights and you can't respond immediately. No worries. But there's also no timer here. So there's no way to actually avoid the question. You can just pass it and avoid it for a very short period of time. So,
if I may, though, before we start the questions, 2 other bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
Item number 1 is that if you particularly like one of the questions that either Rick asks me or I ask Rick, let us know, because we are auditioning questions for later use for our 5 lightning round mildly interesting questions for all of our guests. Rick, I don't think, is accepting questions that he's going to ask me, but I am accepting questions that I want to ask Rick. So if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, please feel free to private message me questions that you would like to ask Rick during the 5-question mildly interesting round, and I will ask him as long as it's suitable, and I will credit you during the show.
Awesome. The other thing I thought might be nice for folks, if you so choose, is for those of you who are watching this on the YouTubes, not as easy if you're listening to the podcast, but for the YouTube folks, I will list all 10 questions, and you are welcome to provide your responses to the questions for us, and we will let other people know that was your answer, and if you have an explanation, we'll let them know that too.
That is really fun.
Because it's a production meeting. Like we want to know from you what your answers are. Timing wise, Cami asked me first, then I asked Cami because
I get flustered.
We're just worried. She got flustered the first time. We just want her to be at her best, even though she's down
really
one,
flustered.
down
one
limb.
appendage.
So we'll let her go first this time. I'll answer as quickly as I can. We'll hope there are no repeats. There haven't been any repeats yet. I don't want to jinx it. But
this is part of the reason I like going first, because if there is a repeat,
then I have to scramble. I have to like tap dance. Yeah. These are my questions. I totally had these. Yeah. So, all right.
Okay. I'm ready. Are you ready? Rick.
Get my chair not squeaky. Okay.
And this week I don't even have, like, normally I call Rick some cute thing at the top. The internet's Rick Turoczy or something. And then this week it just says production meeting, Rick. I've lost all of my creativity. It was all in my foot and I smashed it. All right. Rick, if you could only consume the meat and product from a single kind of animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you choose?
That's a good question. It's an animal.
Mm-hmm. So, like...
It's not like corn.
No, you could still eat all the vegetation, anything that's grown that you want. But the product, so say you could eat chicken and you could eat eggs. Or you could eat duck and you could eat duck eggs. You could eat cow and you can eat dairy. So what's your bacon? I'm sorry to all of our vegans.
I'm going to have to go with the cow.
I thought so.
Like hamburger is my thing.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Cow. And I had a lot of liver when I was a kid. So
did you like the liver?
No, I also didn't like cow's tongue. I had cow's tongue once in my life, and I've decided that I'm not willing to taste anything that is tasting me back at the time that I'm eating it. So
I agree.
And yet still
that is essentially what I told my grandfather when he chased me around the Basque restaurant with a wagging beef tongue. So
yeah, also they're different cut. There's just more cow to deal with.
Yeah.
There's more variety in the cow.
Okay. To be clear, that's not actually happening. I was just curious.
So I still get bacon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question number 2.
And and the little pigskins.
Chicharron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yes.
Too. Okay.
Those are good. And carnitas.
Wait. That was a tough one, so I need a refreshment before.
Okay, please refresh yourself. Your tea sounds awfully cold. All right. Question number 2. Why do you hate rugs?
It's an unnecessary artifice. Like a wood floor is fine. Sweep your wood floor, sweep your tile. Like rugs are just unnecessary.
But what about the rug that I have underneath our bed so that when we get out of the bed in the middle of the night, our little toes don't get cold?
That's creepy. And no.
He puts up with a lot for me, ladies and gentlemen, and others.
I like fliccati. Like fliccati's cool. It looks cool. I just said rugs. No.
He was about to insult my pink faux cotty.
No, I was not.
All right.
I just don't like rugs.
That's fair. That's why I ask. I know you don't like them. All right. Question number 3. You have broken a lot of bones. Which one was the worst for healing and why?
I don't know. It's a tie. Do I get a tie?
You can have a tie.
So I broke my right femur. I was in a half body cast for a while, which was difficult because I just had to like waddle around like, and I had like a bar between my legs. It was great. But I will tell you, that was probably the hardest healing, but the most painful was when I fractured my pelvis. And that was just like, you don't realize how much you use your pelvis. Whoa. Keep it.
I was trying to be.
Keep it
Sorry,
G-rated.
Children.
Here.
Oh, now you stopped on my joke. I Uncle Roger the hell out of that situation.
I will give you space to do that joke again because it was so good.
Sorry, children.
So you don't realize how much you use your pelvis until you can't use your pelvis, and then it's real bad. So it's a tie between my right femur, which is the hardest bone to actually break in your body, the most difficult bone to break in your body, and the hardest bone, and my pelvis, which may be difficult to break, but I did. So there you go.
You're an overachiever. Always have been. Question number 4. You are forced to perform a song at karaoke. What song is it? I've just made him ultimately uncomfortable.
I don't like asking questions, but perhaps less than asking questions.
No, you don't mind asking questions. You do like answering.
I like asking. Fine. I think I look. I sang in choir all through middle school and high school and college, all the time. Like, I'm comfortable singing. I don't like karaoke at all.
But you're forced to. You have to.
Can you?
But you get to pick the song.
I will pick a song if you can give me a decade from which I have to sing.
80s. Do you need to pass?
I don't need to pass. I'm real close. I would like to think I could do End of the World as We Know It and hit every lyric. So there you go.
All right.
That's basically Michael Stipe trying to rap. Anyway, so it's fine.
Y'all just witnessed me falling even more in love with Rick Turoczy, if that's possible. That's what just happened here.
Did I ever tell you the story about how that was going to be our high school song for our class?
Have you told me the story? Yes. Have you told the people? No, tell the people.
So it was going to be the high school song for our class, and everybody was really into it. Well, everybody. A lot of people were really into it. And I started really promoting Paradise City by Guns N' Roses as our class. And somehow that caught on. Go figure. Southern Idaho. Who knew? So, yeah, that wound up being our class song.
All right. Question number 5.
Not because of me. It's not my fault. I just suggested it.
He was very popular.
I didn't do anything. I just said
you should have seen his hair
City.
in high school. His hair was amazing.
I may be able to. My hair wasn't amazing in high school. It was amazing in college. In high school, it was a soccer mullet, and I'll find me in my soccer mullet to like, we can edit it in here. It'll be great.
Okay, I appreciate that. Last question for the day. Would you rather be loved or respected?
Loved. I need people to like me.
Okay.
People have no respect for me. Yes, that's not even a hard question.
I thought that was going to be really challenging. I thought that was going to be the hard one. I thought you'd be able to pull off the karaoke question. I hate karaoke, but I'm going to sing The Piano Man by Billy Joel. Something like that. Or get some Paul Simon going, because
no.
Plug your ears. Take your headphones off. Take it. We listen to Paul Simon a little too much, and he sings constantly along with Paul Simon. Anytime Paul Simon is singing in our kitchen, you can bet that Rick is singing along with it. You can put your headphones on.
I was doing my Geordie LaForge imitation.
It was good. It was a good look.
Thanks. All right. So that's it. So I did it.
That's it. You did it.
I stalled. I almost had to pass. The karaoke one was a really, really good question. Like, that was evilly good, but good nonetheless. So
I knew it was evil.
I needed to give you credit.
Thank you.
It's a good question, and I hope I answered it well.
You did answer it well. You, as I said, made me fall a little bit more in love with you. And after mumble more than a decade, that's impressive. Good job.
That's great. It starts with an earthquake. All right, so.
Oh gosh, you're cute.
Okay. Now it's time for Cami's 5.
And I won't think you're cute while you're asking me questions. Let's go.
Mildly interesting questions. Again.
And I can have a cat on my lap for this?
So long as he shuts up, you can have a cat on your lap. You're allowed to pass. They're only 5. And who knows, they may lead into some interesting discussion after that may derail the production meeting just like Kieran did. I don't know. I'm not making any promises, but stay tuned.
But how great was Kieran in the new episode of Succession?
He's real good, that one. Yeah, well, and now all of his other, he's going to derail this episode too.
You can't mention Kieran Culkin.
Damn it, Kieran.
And you can't say Kieran Culkin and then we're not going to talk about Kieran Culkin.
He was in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Was he like a kid that got rescued or something?
I had forgot he was in Parenthood. No, Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride. He was great in Father of the Bride.
There was one other that I was just like, oh yeah, that was him. And I had totally forgot. But anyway.
Okay.
Thank
enough
you,
with the Kieran Culkin.
Thank you, Kieran, for entertaining us over the years. Okay, so. Ready? Take a deep breath.
Okay, wait, I get it. Deep breath, deep sip, whatever.
I don't know that these are all that challenging this week. I have a lot of questions. I just wasn't really happy with the question set this week.
I'm going to choose to believe you're going easy on me because I'm in pain.
The story arc of the questions just falls a little
doesn't
flat.
Hit for you.
So if I were watching this right now, I might just turn it off. Like just hit subscribe, come back later, like when you're more tolerant, and then listen. Okay,
let's go.
I'm feeling a little parched. Just one moment.
Okay, well, then I'm parched too.
Okay. You ready?
Oh, I don't know.
Which comedian surprised you most as a serious actor and why?
Were you looking at my notes earlier today?
No, I was not. I promise you I was not.
Jim Carrey is the answer. Yeah, very much Jim Carrey.
Why?
Because he is so outlandish and plasticky and malleable and I understand that he does impressions, but doing an impression of something, even a completely exaggerated one, is completely different than being able to do something and take it so incredibly seriously. And even in roles where he's both comedic and serious, like The Truman Show, he delivers heart-wrenching performances.
That's a really good answer. I like that
Thank
one.
You.
I will, for the YouTube viewers, I will provide my response to that question in the comments. So I have a different one.
Can you just provide it now?
No, okay. I'll provide it later in the comments.
That wasn't exactly the question I wrote down today, but it's close enough that
I've had this question.
I'm unsettled.
Weeks.
Okay. I'm still going to ask you the other question because
I can show you. I can show you.
No, I believe you. That's the closest to a repeat I knew
we'd get to this point, folks. It was bound to happen. All right. I jinxed it at the outset because I said, all right.
But you sure you weren't looking at my Google Doc?
No, it wasn't. My beard.
Squeaky chair, fuzzy beard man.
My beard literally got caught in the microphone and like pulled the hairs out. All right. So I'm going through pain. We're both in pain.
We're in pain now together.
Yeah. All right.
Do we need to have your beard x-rayed?
Maybe. And who knows what's in there? It could be like, I don't know. All right. So next question. You have been forced to take over a college radio station. The show airs from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. What do you name your show to attract the most listeners?
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows?
Yeah. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
I want the mellow folks. I don't want the people who are going out like Raven. I want everyone to come and listen to some Leonard Cohen, Nick Cave, Tom Waits. I want to like do the deep, dark. And so all I could think of was like, I have a playlist called Everybody Knows that is a playlist with a bunch of like sulky older men with deep voices. And because of the song Everybody Knows by Leonard Cohen. And so, yeah, I would go for like the late night, like depressed radio, sulky man vibe.
And then I learned she refers to Tom Waits as a silky voiced man. But
Sulky.
Oh, sulky.
Sulky. Not silky.
Suki from
Sulky is like the opposite of silky. Kind of. I guess rough would be, but they are also rough. Nick Cave is kind of silky at times, but
not.
But no,
from Gilmore Girls.
Not silky.
Okay, cool.
No, sulk, like to sulk, SULK,
cool.
Sulk.
No, that's good. Yeah, unsurprising.
That was really hard. That was a really hard one. I know it seemed like I didn't think about it, but I've also thought about what would happen if I had my own night radio station. So
yeah. The playlist comes as absolutely no shock to me, but I thought it might be beneficial to the listener.
I try to listen to that playlist when you're not around.
Thank you. So here's your next question. You can only eat one flavor of ice cream plain, no sprinkles, sauces, or toppings for the rest of your life. What is it?
Chocolate.
Cool. Good answer.
Thank you.
Fourth question. Stairs, escalators, or elevators?
Stairs.
Huh. Why?
Because when there's a zombie apocalypse, the escalators and the elevators aren't going to be working. However, I mean, I should have said escalators because the escalators will be working. They'll just be fucking stairs. So my answer is still accurate.
Yeah, what's a broken escalator?
The escalators will become stairs. So my answer is still valid.
Well, no, I'm not going to.
Not even sorry. Not even sorry.
I'm not going to argue with you. It's your answer. I was curious.
I'm angry, apparently.
Again,
I'm angry at the stairs. I'm angry that you made me say stairs after my week. And it's only
Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I think it's so funny how they like gate off the escalators, like somehow
when they're down, they're like, no, can't use these.
No, don't use these.
No, sorry. You need to go over there.
These have transformed
250 feet away to those other stairs over there that are working.
I was pretty sure it was an elevator, but I was wondering between escalator and stairs. So I just threw elevator in as a throwaway.
No, I like it. When I moved to Portland originally in 1995, I lived in a 6-story building that kind of looked like an old motel. And we had a glass elevator, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever until I had to use it to move. Whew, that was slow.
Yeah.
It was slow. And then I had to use it to move again when I moved out. So, because I wasn't going to go down 6 flights of stairs. You
didn't just throw shit out the window?
I did, but that was like sheets and blankets and pillows.
You could get one of those like Hollywood
pulleys.
No, like the Hollywood stuntman like air pads, and you can just throw shit out the window.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't have the money for a Hollywood air pad. I had my friend's truck. Look,
if Mel Gibson can make that happen on Lethal Weapon, I'm confident you can make that happen.
I mean, he had what were they in LA? He had the resources of the LAPD, and we know that those are a bunch of
Were they in LA?
Were they?
Don't you love that movie? I don't know.
Do love that movie. Me. Were they?
I don't know.
They were somewhere in California, obviously. All right. What's my next question?
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Really keeping it on track. Keeping it walking right down the path with the gimpy foot. So
I'm getting hungry. My foot hurts. Ask me a question.
This is the last one.
Okay, I'm ready. Yeah.
This one may be challenging.
Okay.
But
I can't pass.
I don't know that I have a good answer. I may have a favorite, but I don't know that I can quite do it with this phrasing. So I made the phrasing challenging.
Ooh.
What is the most useful Tetris piece?
Gosh, that really is a challenging question. Because it depends on what you have in the circumstance. It really does. But Rick knows this. I have a love of hitting Tetris, hitting all 4 lines at the same time. And then undoubtedly
5.
while we're playing, and it happens, I'm sorry, 5. I can't count, but I can play Tetris. When it slides down into position and then the video game says Tetris, I go, Tetris! Because I'm so excited every time. I even do it when he gets Tetris because I'm so excited every time someone gets Tetris. So I'm going to say the 5 up and down bar. Okay. But with my secondary being the 3 down, 1 bump.
The L?
No.
I refer to all of them as letters.
So kind of like an E with no M's.
The T piece?
3? No. But yeah, I guess it's a T. The 3 on the bottom and the 1 sticking up in the middle.
Yeah, that's a T.
Sure. That's not a T.
Yes, it is. The long piece is an L. That piece you're describing is a T. There's an S and there's a Z, and then there's the L.
Baby, I believe you. That's just not what my brain calls them.
And the square is an O.
O's have a hole in the middle.
Maybe. Some fonts, they don't. Some fancy fonts, they don't
That's just a circle or a square then.
What is a circle? An O. Thank you. So, proving my point that it's a no. They're all letters.
I don't think you actually proved your point because that's a square.
All the tetrominos.
Tetronymos.
Tronymos.
What did I call them?
I don't know. Tetrominos.
English has never been my best language, even though it's the only one I speak.
Tomato. So,
can I show the people my giant boot?
No, please don't. So I'll cut in a photo for if you hurt yourself by doing that.
I did not hurt myself.
So,
I knew that was going to give you some angst, though, so it was enjoyable for me.
We'll just watch me recovering from my mental trauma here for a few minutes. It'll be great. So the reason I asked that question, much in the same vein that Succession derailed us last week.
I forgot.
We've got that Tetris movie coming up on Apple TV.
With that kid I like, who's not really a ginger, but not really has brown hair.
Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton? Yeah.
I think it's Edgar. It's either Edgar or
Eggsy.
Yeah.
Eggsy
from the Kingsman.
League of Extraordinary Kingsmen. That's not what it's called, guys. I'm making a bad joke.
And also he did that Elton John biopic. I almost asked, did you prefer Taron E in the Elton John biopic or now of course I space his name, in the Freddie Mercury role?
Freddie Mercury. I actually really enjoyed that was
an easy one.
Rami Malek in the Freddie Mercury movie. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen either of those. I've seen them both.
I don't think I have.
I've seen all of the Freddie Mercury biopic. I have seen part of the Elton John biopic, and I really love Elton John, but I couldn't It was when I was still traveling for work a lot, and I was trying to watch it on the airplane, and I was like, I can't right now. Just ugh, no.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give him another shot.
But Tetris, we were kind of excited by because we play a lot of Tetris. Well, and I didn't almost fail finals, but there was one year of college finals where I was playing way too much Tetris and having Tetris nightmares because I would use it to kind of de-stress after tests. And so a little bit obsessed with Tetris, but that was on like a old Mac Plus SE single box in black and white. I'm wondering if this isn't going to be kind of like The Americans ish, or like
I was thinking Halt and Catch Fire-y.
Yeah, or Chernobyl. Maybe like Halt and Catch Fire meets Chernobyl.
If it's like Chernobyl, it's going to be the best show that was ever made because it's going to be out with Tetris and it's going to be as good as Chernobyl was. And Chernobyl was an excellent show, in my opinion.
Supposed to be lots of intrigue, lots of Cold War drama kind of thing. Yeah. Almost like a Bourne movie, but around video game. Well, maybe not as much fighting.
So maybe this isn't so much a production movie as it is us talking about books and movies and TV that we like.
Well, people have said they wanted us to get more thematic.
Okay, we're really sorry for not reading the Rick Rubin book yet. Or maybe he did and I haven't. I have not yet read the Rick. I've read like 3 pages. And I'm really not a reflection of the book. The book is very engaging. My brain is just not reading today.
I go through phases with reading. Like there are times where I would just consume a ton of literature, books, whatever. But it's just kind of
you're not a huge fiction reader these days, though. So what? I'm just saying.
What does the Rick Rubin book have to do with
No,
fiction?
it's not. I'm saying that has nothing to do with the Rick Rubin book, but you said you consume a lot of literature. And usually when I think of literature, I think of fiction.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, yes. I read more nonfiction these days.
And whereas I am more of a fiction and poetry reader.
So Tetris premiering this weekend.
I can't wait.
We'll check it out. Unfortunately, we can't both watch the movie and play Tetris at the same time, but we might be able to figure that out.
I mean, we could maybe, but like I like playing Tetris on the big screen TV, and I like watching. Is it a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie.
Oh. I'm glad it's a movie so I can watch it all at once, but I'm sad that it's a movie because I love I'm currently super addicted to the show with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel. Shrink?
Yeah. Shrinking.
Shrinking. I didn't get it right at all.
Yeah, because you're confusing it with Flaked.
Yes, I am, because we're watching Flaked as well. And that's
good too.
I don't even know how to talk about that show.
But the other thing I forgot that I wanted to give him credit for, Taron,
give who credit for? Okay.
Taron, was that prison series.
Oh, that was good.
Or whatever. It was really good too.
That was so good that I'm ready to re-watch it.
It's unsettling.
It is unsettling.
I don't know that I need to be unsettled any more than I actually am on a regular basis.
That performance was phenomenal.
He did a really good job.
Others as well, but yeah.
And he was ripped. Imagine if he was that ripped for like...
Oh my gosh, right? He looked like he could take on anyone.
Yeah, Sam Jackson would stand no chance in The Kingsman if Taron was that ripped.
Agreed. Sorry, Sam. I still like you more than I like him, but he would kick your ass because he was fucking ripped in that show.
He really was. But he was in prison, so, that's the thing.
I like to think that if I was in prison, I'd have nothing better to do than get ripped, but I don't think that that's how prison necessarily works because it's a really awful environment for people, and I am very lazy. This has been a long production meeting.
This has been a really long... a lot of this is coming out in post. Don't worry. Maybe that's something we start doing is like, we'll give you the uncut director's version. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us for the production meeting, Mildly Interesting People. I'm working on an episode for Thursday.
With a freaking rock star. A freaking rock star.
Literally. So you want to tune in for that. Really good episode. I really enjoyed it. I think Cami did too.
Yeah. I love that guy.
That was really genuine. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was an episode. I gotta get this into editing because I need to get this out to you tonight. This has been Mildly Interesting People. Tune in Thursday for someone far more interesting. And right now, we'll leave you to go find something more interesting to do.
Like play Tetris or listen to Leonard Cohen.
Like play some Tetris while listening to Leonard Cohen.
That's what I'm going to do while you edit.